Hey everyone, it's Anthony from Pretty Brilliant here. I just want to make a pretty short video today on how to write queries across relationships in Django. So I was actually working on the new version of prettyprinter.com, and it's pretty early in the process. I have a very basic model here that's temporary, but I came across something I needed to do that I think most people will be interested in knowing. So I'll explain what I'm doing in this video. So right here I have 3 models set up. So for my website, I have courses, and each course has a section, and each course has multiple sections, and then each section has multiple lectures. So this is what this data model represents. And basically what I wanted to do was I wanted to find out all the lectures in a particular course. So first let me import everything. So from let's see, course.models, import course, section, and lecture. And what I'm going to do with these 3 is demonstrate how this works. So I only have one course in the database. So if I just get that, you'll see what it is. The title is Flask SQL Alchemy Basics. And there's nothing there because I messed up something. So the dash should be between Flask and SQL Alchemy, not basics. Okay, so you see that one object gets returned when I do the query. So this course has multiple sections in it. So if I do something like this, let's say get, and then I'll call this Flask. So Flask dot sections or section set, and it's not section dot set, and then I can do all, and that returns all the sections that are in that particular course. So I have 2 sections set up. I have one that's called setup, and the second section is called CRUD operations, and create, read, update, delete. And of course, not all the data is in here, but this is just me testing things out. And then each section has lectures associated with it. So if I get something like the section objects, get title setup, and as of right now, the sections are unique, but that will probably change in the future. Let's see, lecture sets all. So I have 3 lectures in this section, but I don't want to have to go through these steps to get all the lectures. I want to know all the lectures that are in the course with one query. So to do that, basically you have to think about what objects do you want to get in return, and that will tell you which model you're going to start with. So if I want to get all the courses for a particular query, then I'm going to start with course. If I want to get all the sections associated with some query, I'll start with section. And if I want to get all the lectures associated with some query, I'm going to start with lecture. So that's exactly what I'm going to do here. I'm going to start with lecture. Then I'm going to type objects and then filter. But now what I want to do is I want to get all the lectures associated with a particular course. But due to the nature of the model, I can't get the course directly from a lecture because the section is kind of in the middle of those 2 things. So there's no direct connection between a lecture and a course, only between a lecture, a section, and then there's a direct connection between a section and a course. So what I can do is, first, I know that each lecture is going to be part of some section. So I can type section. And since I have the section, I'll add the double underscores, which allows me to move on to the next model. And in this particular case, I'm now on the section model. So because I'm dealing with a section, now I can say something about a course that I'm interested in. So if I type course here, that is going to start from the section and then go to the courses associated with those sections. And then here I can write a filter on the actual course. So it's like I'm stepping through the models that are in between what I want to get to until I'm finally at the point that I'm interested in. So now that I'm on course, I add the double underscores again, and then I actually add what I want to filter by. So the title, And if I type flask-SQL Alchemy Basics, what this is going to do for me is it's going to look at all my lecture objects. It's going to look at the sections, and then it's going to look at the courses associated with those sections, and it's going to find where the title is Flask SQL Alchemy Basics. And then it's going to go backwards. So it's going to look at the course that is named Flask SQL Alchemy Basics. Then it's going to look at the sections for that course. So there are 2 sections right now. And then for each one of those sections, it's going to get all the lectures associated with those sections. So when I run this query, this should give me all the lecture objects that are associated with the Flask SQL Alchemy course. So if I hit enter, I see that I have exactly that. So there are a lot more lectures for this course, but I haven't added them all to the database yet. But I have a few here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, it looks like, that I have here set up. And this is exactly what I wanted for a particular case, for the query that I was writing at the time. So this covers what I was doing. Something a little more is you can go the other way as well. So if I wanted to know which course has a particular lecture, I can do that. But because I don't have the model specified on the course, Django adds a little helper for me. And that helper is basically just the name of the model that's related to it in lowercase. So you see how here course has nothing other than properties associated with itself, but section has its own properties plus a relationship to the course. So it's pretty easy to go from section to course because there's the course here, but going from course to section isn't as clear because there's no clear, explicit relationship from that direction. Well, there is, and Django adds it for you, and all you have to do is specify the name of the model in lowercase. So if I did something like this, course, objects, filter, and then the name of the other side of the relationship, lowercase. So in this case, it would be section. And then I can do some typical filters. So if I say section title equals setup, then that will give me the course that has a section called setup. And then I can do the exact same thing for lectures. So if I type course, objects, filter, start with section, and then the same thing with sections. So sections are related to lectures, but there's no explicit relationship here. It's on the lecture model instead. But if I just type lecture in lowercase, then I can access parts of the lecture, and then I can filter by those. So if I do lecture title equals, let's say, creating a table, this is going to give me the course that has a lecture called creating a table. So the relationship in this direction isn't nearly as useful as the relationship in the other direction. That's why I define the models and the relationships as I did here. But just know that you actually can access things in the other direction as well if you choose to do so. So here I'm finding a course that has a lecture title called Creating a Table. So when I hit enter, it gives me the course Flask SQL Alchemy Basics. So really, this was just my use case. This can get a lot more complicated. You can have more models. You can have different types of relationships. So you can have many-to-many relationships as well as one-to-many relationships. But in my particular case, early on in developing the second version of PrettyPrinter.com, I only have these very simple one-to-many relationships. But just know that the process is very similar for all of them, and perhaps I'll make a video in the future where the things get a little more complicated, but since this is what I was working on, this is the example that I want to show you guys. So that's it for this video. If you have any questions about what I did in this video, feel free to leave a comment down below and I'll answer any of your questions. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel already, please subscribe. So thank you for watching this video, and I will talk to you next time.